What's up, y'all? This your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
LaurenSizzle.
We got Classy Lady Sparkle in the building. Of course, we got Lady S. And now we got one of my favorite segments of the show, right? And the reason this is one of my favorite segments of the show is because it's the interviews. And why do I like the interviews? I like the interviews because we get the chance and the opportunity to talk to the people, talk to the good old folks, right? Especially folks that happen to be good friends of yours truly, right? We had the opportunity to interview this guy, this gentleman, this friend of mine. Like on 2 different occasions, but he got a lot of things that he does, a lot of things that's coming up. And since he does, we brought him back on the show. You know what I'm saying? And because we brought him back on the show, you know, we got to get the juice. We got to get down and dirty with all of the good old things that he's doing and some of the controversial topics that he does and talks about. So without further ado, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Holla at me. So what's going on in your kingdom, man?
Wow, man. I'm just trying to build an empire one brick at a time, man. Throwing bricks at people at their head.
I see.
Slaying that foundation. You know, just bricks of truth just being hit people in the head. You see people walking down the street. Oh, my God, what was that? Oh, he just told me to quit my job. I got a headache now, boss. I can't make it.
Man, you've been throwing some bricks.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, man.
Yeah, man. Especially as of late, my brother.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, man.
What you talking about?
Listen.
I don't even keep up. Like, I don't think I'll understand. When I speak, it's a spirit that flows through me. And I get something from God. And when God speaks through me, I flow. So whatever he tells me to tell y'all, like y'all forget, God also has a loving hand, but he had a fiery sword for a reason. You see what I'm saying? And too many of y'all running around here with participation trophies thinking that you're doing something, or you know, you get yourself a little Facebook Live and all of a sudden you're a motivational speaker, life coach, and a mogul. And I'm like, how, Sway?
How, Sway?
Like, no, I'm just saying.
How, Sway?
Like, I mean, real rap though, if you look at that interview, you break it down, Kanye, you know, I was having this conversation with my man Laban King in Atlanta. Kanye really told Sway some real truth. He said to him, listen, dog, listen. I spent $13 million. And Sway's like, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, it's 2 different levels.
Yep.
You know, so, you know, sometimes you got to come in and lovingly check people.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is. And sorry.
Yeah, that's facts.
Not
that's
sorry.
Facts. I know that's right. And so I'm going to jump right into a couple different things, man. First, right?
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I want you to talk about the nonprofit you have,
yes, sir.
Because I don't want to forget that, because I think that's important, especially because it targets young men.
Yeah, it's,
that's
you know,
important.
it's a funny thing, Charles. I'll be very honest with you. 95% of my clientele are black women.
Right.
You know, just numbers real quick. $27 million is the amount of money my clients have made in 2018. And a lot of my clients are single moms. And single moms always have the same thing. There's nothing for my boys to do. They don't play ball. They're not that coordinated. They can't sing. They can't act. They can't rap. Right. You know, what can they do? Right. You know, so I created a curriculum that was there to supplement what's happening in the education thing. So that's where Black Boys Win came from. But ironically, the people who don't know me haven't taken the time to use their Googles, or, you know, oh, you just care about, what about black women? I'm like, listen, man, let me tell y'all something. There's Black Girls Rock. There's all these organizations that get millions and millions of dollars. But I didn't see you put up a dime, you know, when it came to Black Boys Win. And so I'm out here trying to help these young men because I got 2 daughters. You know, the dating pool is horrible. My oldest goes to Howard. My youngest is 3. And I got to worry about that now. You plan for your future. You plan for your legacy. And I don't want to have to yoke anybody up. So in order to prevent that, I'm going to adjust the dating pool by putting positive, mentally focused, and entrepreneurial-minded young men into the lexicon. Wow. You know, so we can talk all day, but what are you doing when you put your Twitter fingers down? You know, so that's the whole thing with Black Boys Win, and I will defend it until the end of my life.
Fantastic, fantastic. Maybe we need the Black Girls Rock. They have like an event
shout
concert
out to Beverly
and everything.
Bond. Love
Absolutely.
Beverly.
So maybe we need to put like an event concert together for Black Boys Win.
I think that needs to happen.
Absolutely. We're gonna have to jump on that immediately. And I know that's right. We talk weekly. We gotta jump on that. So let's fast forward. I want to talk about, because I had the opportunity to see. Let's talk about the Gary Vee situation, since we're on that topic, and we'll transition to something. So Gary Vee, probably one of the most outspoken, can we say, like, public speakers, motivational speakers? Can we use
public
that?
Speakers, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, mogul, it all applies. The man's worth $500 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's 500.
100.
I'm
at
trying
last
to
count.
Absolutely. And so at last count, yeah, and he's still making money, right? So,
crazy.
Snapchat. I'm just saying. So I want to talk a little bit about the feeling when you had the opportunity to interview that man.
Yeah.
And he asked you a question, well, how much you need?
Yeah.
You gave him a number.
Yeah.
What was that number?
15,000.
15,000. And what did he do?
48 hours later, it's in my bank account from his accountant.
Simple as that.
15,000, that's all you asked for?
That's all I needed. See, the thing of it is, two reasons. Number one, I always ask for what I need.
Yeah,
I don't go over and
greedy.
above. Not to mention, that's not counting the 45 that I had already put into the program.
Right.
Out of my own pockets and out of my own, driving. It doesn't count from the money that black women were donating to the program. And the other thing of it is, if I owe you, then you own me. And so I, legitimately put a cap on how much money I would accept from outside people when it came to that type of situation. Because when you have a structure that also deals with Pepsi and Ford and all these other companies, then there might be the inkling to try and co-opt or corrupt what I'm trying to do. And so that's why
I just want to put this in context, though. I want to put it in context because he didn't go up there for money.
No.
He went up there to ask some of the hard questions,
Facts.
right? And it just so happened that conversation came up. So I had to give Gary V some shot because he answered some hard questions, right? And then he just asked the question, and sometimes you just have to give that ask. But if he wasn't ready to talk about, the importance of Black Boys Win, right? And importance of why he was behind this initiative, the opportunity probably would have never came to fruition. So I had to shout you out for that. So how did you feel with that? You know what I mean?
I felt great. I felt redeemed because there's a problem that black people tend to have. If we're going to be frank and honest. When I started Hang With, the guy who owned Hang With, which was a predecessor, without Hang With, there would be no Periscope, there would be no Facebook Live, there would be none of these other, there would be no Meerkat, none of that. So Hang With was a little bit of ahead of its time and people didn't understand it. The team who was on it consisted of a lot of us who were behind MySpace after Justin Timberlake overtook it. And so when we came in and I'm starting to push Hang With, every black person I know who couldn't believe that I had ownership in this company was like, well, I don't see your name on the masthead. I don't tell you everything that I do.
Right.
Because real gangsters do not talk.
They move in silence.
So I'm sitting up here and I'm giving you all this misdirection and I'm mohawking and wooing and strutting all over the place, but all the way in the back there's a whole lot of stuff you don't see.
Right.
But the fact that you don't see black people in tech, you automatically assume that I'm lying, that I haven't done what I've done, and I'm like, did you bother to use your Googles? You know what I'm saying? Like, this man has seen me work since I was 17 years old. I'm 40. I ain't got to lie.
Right.
And so that was the thing. And so what wound up happening for me, it was legit because people kept calling me Black Gary V, and I didn't know who he was at first. And I'm nobody's black derivative. You can take that somewhere else. Look at how many people, including Young Jock, was talking about there was black Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to who you are. I'm Dave Anderson. That's all I've ever wanted to be.
Right.
So I needed to show black people that you can put me anywhere with anybody. I don't care how rich they are. And I'm just as dope. I'm just as educated. I'm just as talented. I just don't have the privilege yet. Give me a minute. TikTok. And sure enough, I shut a whole lot of mouths that day.
Facts.
Wow.
The funny thing is I get often, and I kind of stuck with it, but I often get compared to the Black Ryan Seacrest, which is so funny, right? That goes to the point, right? And so, but yeah, I'm Charles Gregory, man. I had the opportunity and the ability to style some major people, and I'm excited about that.
But I'm styling major people.
and still, no doubt. So I want to transition because we got a lot of questions in a little bit of time now.
All good.
We talked about you brought up black people, right? And how sometimes they, for some strange reasons, they get caught up. They don't think the way they should, and they potentially kind of fall short because they are being led instead of being leaders, right? And so I want to talk to you. I want you to tell me, you made a comment, and I want you to respond to this comment, right?
Sure.
You said, let's see if I can open this up real quick. You said unconscious coons are why black businesses lose. Let's talk a little bit about
Absolutely.
that.
So what winds up happening is we don't talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about my large stature. I'm talking about the fact that black people have a problem with the fact that they're conditioned and they can't admit it. That's like me saying that, you know what, Charles Gregory, style me right now. Let's do the Speedo shoot. It's going down. We're going to sell 8 million. Don't listen. I'm a very good looking man, but I ain't never going to be in no Speedo. You know what I'm saying? And after 20 some odd years of friendship, I'm sure he feel comfortable. Hey, Dave, we gonna find another look for you, bro. I got some fly stuff. We're gonna do some flowers and some bright colors, but we're not putting you in no Speedo because I'm not gonna let you go out like that. And what's happening is we don't address the fact that we hate ourselves. And we hate ourselves on all different levels, and some of us are conscious of it and still have the problem. There are people who are addicts and still have the problem. And so unconscious coons are people who sit up there and say stuff like, oh, well, you know, if we're going to talk about black businesses, then let's talk about customer service. And I'm like, but you'll go to Walmart, there'll be 32 aisles, and you will stand in those in the 2 aisles that are open with 2 people being overworked on welfare 9 times out of 10. Do the numbers and the research before you come at me, and then you won't say anything. Never have you ever heard this phrase, that's why I don't do business with white businesses anymore. You never hear that. You hate yourself, and you always treat yourself as if you are the less than, you are the second place, you are the bottom rung. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a champion. I come from kings. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I know there are some jesters in the village, but I ain't come from that tribe. So I'm going to stand by what I said. There are unconscious coons who are subconsciously subverting and sabotaging black businesses that are doing well. Charles Gregory does amazing work. I called Charles Gregory and I was like, listen, dog, my daughter's going to have this prom, this, that, and the third. He was like, all right, Dave, look, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to get this. I'm going to get a rack, and then we're going to do this, that, and the third. And my daughter was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I said, see, it can't escape my house. So if you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a fact. So yeah, unconscious coons are killing us. Period.
Fantastic, man. You've been on the Breakfast Club a couple times, man, and you're very vocal and open with regarding certain issues, right?
Absolutely.
And this is a great transition to talk about the culture, right, and talk about entertainment.
Yes.
You were very vocal with regarding Aretha Franklin's wedding and the pastor preacher.
Absolutely.
Funeral.
What'd you say?
Funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How'd I say?
you said wedding.
Wedding. I'm sorry.
Might as well have been. It was so long.
I know,
You
right?
don't know
Gosh,
what.
it was crazy. That thing was
the
long,
reception?
man. It was a
Right.
reception party. What do you want to call it? I mean, look,
no.
you know, thanks for the correction. Now, you were very vocal about the Miss Grande, right? And the pastor, you know, pretty much he said that he put his arm around her, but you know, you was talking about groping.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about you know, your position on it, and what do you think actually happened?
Here's what I think actually happened. As a person who has been a minister since 2003, I know the creepiness that happens in the church. We like to talk about the Catholic Church, we don't like to talk about the black church. And the truth of the matter is, when he was hugging older people, when he was hugging, oh my gosh, the one who says, I'm reclaiming my time, Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters.
He had his arm around her shoulder. When he had Ariana Grande, he had his arm here, and his fingers, zoom in on his fingers were flailing back and forth. So yeah, he was being creepy, he was being inappropriate, and Bill Clinton, everybody up there except for Farrakhan was eyeballing that little girl.
Because she looked very uncomfortable.
She looked very uncomfortable, and she was pulling back and all that stuff, and as a father of 2 daughters, I'd have took his head off, in Jesus' name.
Right there.
I know that's
Period.
Right. Yeah. And that was pretty heavy, because sometimes we have to admit and take accountability for the things that our people do.
Absolutely.
You know, and oftentimes we tend to kind of look over it because they're our people, right? I want to jump right into Me Too.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've been vocal on Me Too first. I want you to talk about their initiative and things that they've been doing, but also you have taken a position to challenge Me Too.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes. So
Without
let's
a
jump
doubt.
right into that.
A few things. First of all, you don't get to pick and choose. My issue with Me Too is the same issue I had with feminism. There is no such thing as feminism for black women in this country, because when black women are being ostracized for wearing their natural hair, when black women are being told they're unprofessional because their bodies are a little too curvy, there is no Me Too showing up anywhere. The only time Gloria Allred will show up for a black woman is when there is a check. And I say Gloria Allred, not to be confused with Gloria Steinem, the CIA agent. Google. So my issue with Me Too is that it's not Me Too for everybody. When I was molested as a kid, there was no Me Too for me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go after people with money, and y'all go after people who are not attractive, because I guarantee you, if Bill Cosby was George Clooney, it wouldn't have been no Me Too. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at the whole situation. So you can't cherry pick an issue and say you're on the forefront of that issue. And Me Too was very, very quiet about a lot of stuff that happens in and out of the media, in and out of the spotlight, depending on how much money they can make off of it and how much press time they can get on TMZ. So yeah, to me, that's a money grab. And a lot of times these organizations are set up to grab money. Oh, we're scared of the big black man Bill Cosby with one bad eye looking like Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. So let's go ahead and give us money and let's rail him out. Now you got real predators out here who have the physical and psychological deviance and strength to really do some damage to people like my 19-year-old child. I'm not worried about Bill Cosby. He's going to die. God's going to get him if he's guilty. But y'all don't talk about those people. And now it becomes a thing where if you said something 20 years ago on Twitter, you know, like my views evolved from the time that I was in college to the time I went through seminary and lived all around the world. So the person that I was 10 years ago is not the person that I am right now. So when you start going after people for what they said 10 years ago, you're going after a person that no longer exists. That's problematic because now you're saying you can't change. Just like they won't let Chris Brown be. Chris Brown's going to be the next Bobby Brown. I guarantee you when it's all said and done, Chris Brown will be penniless because number one, we're going to go right behind him because he's not R. Kelly. R. Kelly came up in a time where there was no internet. And R. Kelly has written for a long, long time. But Chris Brown ain't got a I Believe I Can Fly in him. And if he did, no one would bother with it because he's just a thug and he's this and the third. But I mean, I've seen certain people in relationship with Chris Brown throw phones at his head. And I'm not going to name names, but you can put things together.
So what do you do when how do you defend or how do you approach someone from the initiative Me Too, initiative movement that address you and say that you can't talk to a female initiative, you can't talk to the women's perspective? What do you tell them then? 2 words: Terry Crews. You have no idea how many times as a broadcaster, as an entertainer, as a concert promoter, as a stand-up comedian, I've been groped by women. I've been disrespected in front of my wife and away from my wife. You see what I'm saying? And I've had to check people. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to do like appearances in strip clubs. I used to go and host at Onyx when I worked at Power 99. And the thing of it was, sometimes the strippers I'd be like, not on that. You see what I'm saying? But that's okay because that's just cute. It's fun and games. But if a man were to do that to a woman, they'd lock him up. So if you're about making sure that there are no sexual predators, let's talk about the sexual predators that actually exist. And that's not gender specific. So yeah, Me Too or everybody in. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Right. So where do we go from here? We only got a couple minutes. This went so fast. So where do we go, especially as black men, with the state of black men, right? Where do we go from here in trying to fix the community, taking accountability also, but trying to fix our issues, our problems, you know?
First of all, we have to be afforded the opportunity to address what our problems actually are.
Right.
Second of all, we have to be prepared to let go of our trash. There are some people who are just not going to be saved. Jesus Christ was smart enough to understand this. Why can't we? Number 3, we have to show people that there's more than what the media that is controlled by people who do not look like the black men we're trying to save is putting out there. All these people who are getting signed like they're hot. Tekashi 6ix9ine ain't from no hood. I know. And on top of that, you trying to tell me that that's all that's out there and that's what people want? No, I grew up in the entertainment industry. I grew up in the music industry. Right. I know what they do. And there are 6 Jewish men who control all media. 6. So if 6 Jewish men control all media, how can they have my best interest at heart? And I'm not attacking Jews because I will tell you this. Gary Vaynerchuk has been there for me, not only there, but when I needed something, if I needed advice, something like that, if I needed a contact, a man was there for me. This is not about attacking Jewish people. This is saying that the 6 people who are in control of everything you see, read, hear, and consume are Jewish. Don't believe Mota Scott Young runs Love and Basketball or Basketball Wives or Love and Hip Hop or whatever the hell the show is. I don't watch the trash. But there's 2 Jewish guys that put her in front so that nobody gets hit. Just like there's a Jewish guy who decided, we're going to take this Push novel and we're going to adapt it. And after it's done, we're going to go after Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey because we got them on payroll. Tyler Perry ain't independent. He works for Lionsgate.
Wow. So let's talk real quick. Jeez, we only got like 5 minutes.
It's all good.
Real quick. Let's talk about where do we go from as a community of media creators, content creators, and independent media. How do we say or take it out of the hands of the 6 Jewish guys?
Stop going to them. See, the internet leveled the playing field.
Right.
When I got sick, I'm going to tell you the moment because people don't understand this. The moment I walked away, I walked away simply because they wanted me to walk away, and so they gave me a nice severance package. Never quit, always get fired. That's one, so you can collect that bread. Number two, they wanted me to do ass brackets. So around March Madness time, they had this thing where they wanted to have women bring in their behinds, like take pictures of their behinds and then rank them like the NCAA tournament. And there was a room full of black women too scared to say anything about their jobs, and a couple other black men who sat back and let them do this. And I was like, no, you're not going to do this on my watch. This is disrespectful. You know, so we've got to always understand that now that we have the internet, there's no more excuses. If I can have 236,000 people listen to me every week on my podcast, I don't want to hear about audience. I don't want to hear about money. I started my business with a $12 GoDaddy website, so don't tell me what you can't do. You see what I'm saying? So we have to start really giving people opportunities to get rid of excuses and just work, and then understand that if Charles Gregory gets a win and he's on TV and I'm not mad at him. I'm not going behind him. I'm shooting applause and love this man's way. Exactly. And that's the thing. We got to get off of that. There can only be one. That's why Blair Underwood never popped and Denzel's way up here. Like, let's just talk facts for a minute. You know, they only let one in at a time, and that's the problem.
That crab mentality.
Crab mentality, absolutely. So, before we let you leave, what's next for Dave Anderson?
Wow.
You're doing a lot, man.
A lot, man. My God.
And how can they get in contact with you?
Oh, well, that's easy, man. You can text Business Bully, 2 words, to 31996. Standard text message and data rates apply. That's Business Bully to 31996. BusinessBullyShow.com is everywhere. iTunes, any place you get a podcast, you can find my show. Aside from that, what am I doing next, man? Well, my book, Sell It Like Jesus, is finally coming out. Thank God. No pun intended. Let's see what else. I'm just wrapping up my tour. I was on tour for 40 weeks throughout the year. So my last stop is actually in Germantown. You can get tickets for that. Ready for War conference. It's going to be incredible. It's on the 23rd, 24th, something like that, but it's bit.ly, ready, the number 4 war tickets. And I'm always Dave at businessbullyshow.com, man, but I'm grinding, I'm out here. And my main thing right now, which I'm really excited about, is I have this thing called the Bully Hot Seat, because we're talking about excuses, and I'll be very quick here. Bully Hot Seat is this. I don't care what your business is. I don't care what your problem is. I will fix your business on the spot and give you a 6-figure marketing plan. And if I can, I'll send you to Cancun.
Wow.
So, you know, we can talk, or we can talk bread, or we can talk winning. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't see nobody else. All these other gurus, where you at? Put your trips up. Challenge me.
Wow.
Put your trips up.
The challenge has been, we got to do a nice little series about that. Let's see if we can try to get somebody to put the challenge in.
And
we promote it. We do a whole bunch of
Let's
stuff.
get in the room.
There you go. Dave Anderson challenge.
I know that's right.
So time for no Kiki hearts and all that.
Do you love me, right?
Cancun, are you going?
I know that's right. But unfortunately, we have to go, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you coming to the show. You probably have to come up like once a month, man. Talk that.
Here.
Give us that work,
I'm
man.
here, man. I'm here. I'm here to get at work.
No
That's
doubt.
what I do.
Get at work, man. But unfortunately, we got to go. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk is now on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spotify. We everywhere. If you never there, we there. Check it out. Make sure you follow us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spotify, and binge listen to our shows. Like and follow us on We Talk Weekly Facebook page. Download the little TuneIn app. Look for us on WPPM LP 106.5 FM. Tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for We Talk Weeklies After the Talk. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at We Talk Weekly, at Charles Gregory, at Lauren_Sizzle, and at Sparkle Priceless One. Subscribe to our We Talk Weekly YouTube channel. And if you're in Philly, catch us every Monday night, 9:30 on Comcast 66, Verizon 52930, and download the little iPhone TV app and Roku and look for who?
We Talk Weekly.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we gotta go. But my brother, it was an absolute pleasure today that you came to holler at us, man.
Yes.
And you know what? Anytime you feel like you need to come through, and let us know what's really good, what's going down, come to the show, man. It's all good, man. We love you, my brother.
Love you, bro.
My man. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Actually, we won't be back, but we got people that's coming up with great content, great shows, and great music. But unfortunately, we got to go. But make sure you go to We Talk Weekly, y'all. Holla.